now, and we'll go on DJ. Because those of you that know us know that we really like to celebrate. You know, it's not just that the holidays exist to be holidays, but especially July 4th. You've been around the Hardon for a while. You know, my brother, he gets together, he puts those cookouts on, they get out there with the leather sandals, just cooking up stuff.
The leather sandals.
Not the leather sandals.
It's one of those events. And then you end with fireworks and angry neighbors. And as we talk about this particular 4th of July is kind of different because, of course, everybody's virtual, right? We're all somewhere, hopefully staying safe, being in a position to think about things and do things differently. But as we talk about what we want to do differently, 4th of July is one of those really interesting historical holidays, especially if you're engaged in a fight for independence. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Specifically, you know, looking at the people that are on the line with me today, and I want to thank all of you for joining in our lunchtime conversation, because what I want to talk about is just putting the 4th of July in the context of its world, where it exists, and where it came from. So as you take notes on this one, on this particular money lunch, we'll go from here. And just remembering that idea. You know, it's the Cashflow Cookout.
Yes, sir.
July, you know, in that theme, you know, fireworks, flags, and everything. But I like to put in perspective where the whole celebration came from. And it's a good thing this is streaming on Facebook because I can show you something. This is the first speech that I ever learned. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's the beginning of the Declaration of Independence. And for those of you that don't know me well, that was my first public address.
Ah.
July 4th, 1976. Times element in, you know, preschool, they had me in as Thomas Jefferson because I could say unalienable. And it's, you know, it's one of those fun childhood memories to think about just in terms of where we came from, what the Declaration of Independence was supposed to be. Now, I'm not unmindful of the reality of what that meant for our people back then, because of course it was still Juneteenth. It's over years later that people that look like me were also free, right? Yes, but here's what I want to draw the analogy for is that fight for independence, because that's what really had to happen. Like July 4th, we celebrate the Declaration of Independence. We declared free, but then if you think about it, the Revolutionary War went on until 1783. Right? Declare happened first. Well, actually what happened first was people got mad. Right? They got mad, they identified an enemy, they had a party, they threw some of the tea in the ocean, but some of it they took home. Right? I'm not gonna say it was a riot, I'm just gonna say it was a protest. They were objecting to the tax structure in England. They made a declaration, they got in a fight, and they fought for years. So they built an army, they fought for years, and then they had a changed world on the other side. Same thing with the Civil War. Emancipation Proclamation, signed in 1861. War's over in 1865. Actual freedom of slaves, June of 1865. Right? So that perspective, I just want to put that in context, because if you got the framework for the freedom fighting process, first you get mad, then you make a declaration that something's going to be different. You build an army, you fight until you win, and then on the other side, you change the world. Now, is the world perfect after any of these wars? No, but it's better. And now we have a process and a framework. So if anybody ever talks to us about this whole financial education mission that we're on, the army that we're building, and the fight that we're in, the historical context is important, because do you know what the American Revolution was a fight for?
I didn't like history.
Well, here's the thing. It's not even about the history. It's about the money. It was a fight about money. It was a fight about taxes. It was that the people that sailed away to the New World, and now they were sending a whole bunch of their money back to somebody that they never saw, that provided them what they perceived as little or no value. And so they wanted to have their money back.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
It's my money. I want it back.
Want it back, right?
And if you think about even the way the American tax system works, it still mirrors the European taxes that they were running away from. They just wanted to set themselves up as kings. Meaning instead of a king in England that you don't see, they said, well, we want to tax, we agree that we should share the cost of things. Here's how we're going to do it. Wealthy people will still pay the least in taxes because making money gets taxed less.
Mhm.
Business owners will pay the second most in taxes because they provide the opportunity for work. And workers will pay the most in taxes. Matter of fact, for the beginning of this country, workers that look like us paid 100% in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, a little bit of philosophy and perspective, but let's see how that translates into our money today. Because if you think about taxes, if you think about the income shifting process, we look at and identify. First, you got to figure out, well, who are we fighting? But then second, we got to make that declaration to shift our money back from the places where it went. Now, we talk about inflation, taxes, debt, and big business. Today, we're going to focus on taxes as it pertains to income shifting. Because that's the major place. If you think you ever want to be wealthy, you got to put yourself in a position to be taxed correctly. Right? In America, as long as we live here, and I don't think there's a better place to rise from working class into upper class based on your efforts than right here where we live. So I'm not one of those people that say, you know, I'm not African American or I'm not American. I want everything they fought and died for. Right? We're the realization of somebody's dream, right? So in this world, when we look at our solutions, increase your cash flow, build a business income, and investment income, all three of these are designed to arm us to move from a place where we are financially restrained. What do they say? Unless you're in a position to invest, you're not even on the road to wealth. That's what Brian tells us all the time, yes? But for most people, until we get that cash flow in control, until we can minimize taxes, that's why it's the first thing. That's why Money Max is first. That's why with MWR Financial, having access to people to help with tax strategy on the front end versus just tax preparation on the back end is brilliant. Because if you think about the way taxes work, we all know this, but we don't really interpret what it means. Like, think about it. As a W-2 wage earner, we tax 28 to 33% off the top. No questions asked. It's like, give me that. I went to work, and then I got taxed, and then I got to spend what was left, right? 1099, 18 to 23% in taxes. But the way it works is that the business earns money. It gets to spend as much money as it would like and gets taxed on what was left. Gets taxed on profits. And then the last category, capital gains tax, money works and gets to be reinvested and never gets taxed until it's taken out. And then it's taxed at less than 15%. So let's put this in perspective. Let's say for the sake of this conversation, Fabian, Bernard, and I are in those income brackets. Fabian, I'm a worker. I go to work. Fabian, you're a business owner, and Bernard, you are the investor. Okay?
All right.
$100,000 based on the tax system in America. If I make $100,000 at work, but I get taxed 33%, my take home is $67,000. I got up, worked hard, got jacked, and got home with $67,000. Right?
Right.
Now, Bernard, as a business owner, the worst he could do, let's say that $100,000 was profit, meaning he made more than $100,000, took care of all of his expenses, including some that had to do with his lifestyle. And from his taxes, he got taxed $18,000. So he still has a take home of 82.
Good.
That's $15,000 more dollars, yes?
Yes.
Yep.
Now, again, to be in business, have $100,000 profit, that's some work, but it's worth it, yeah?
Yep.
Now, Fabian is an investor. he had $100,000 working.
Keep it moving.
Now, here's the thing. We didn't say anything about Fabian getting up and going to work. Fabian, with his 100,000 already at work, he woke up about the crack of noon, meditated, hung with the family, and then his 100,000 made another 120,000. Did he get taxed on it? Not yet.
Not yet.
He never has to get taxed on that money until the point where he decides he no longer wants that asset to earn money. Making money is the smartest way to make money in the world, but most of us, from a working point of view, we have to work our way into having investment capital. Am I making sense so far? Now, people would look at that and say, that's not fair. But my brother Chuck pointed out, he said, that is fair. That's how the system's set up. They put the codes there to let you know if you get your money from this code, you pay this much. But that's how they choose to make money. So if we want to get a different result, we have to choose to do different things. And one of the things that we talk about is the income shift. Literally taking some of the money from the work that we do today, shifting it and funneling it through a business, and then building business income so that we can create assets that build more money. We call that philosophy, what is that called? That's cash, asset, cash. So talking through. So one of the things that we talk about with our friends at MWR Financial, and I want to make sure that we keep this in focus for people as they're talking about just the taxes from their job. There is, on paper, there's a good reason to be in this business, even if you don't want to build. And it goes in this way. Think about the trend right now. Everybody's at home, billion-dollar trend. You get low startup costs, low overhead, low taxes, and a high opportunity for income. But here's one thing that I want you to see that's subtle about what we've learned in the process of making wealth real. As we built the team and built the army, the experts have helped us understand the value of this enterprise. Because think about this, in a home-based business, and I say home-based versus starting a base and building a building somewhere else, you get to write off stuff that's in your lifestyle. Right. So imagine now, you got a mortgage. Let's say for now, you're in the good old days when a mortgage would be $1,000. Now, does anybody have a mortgage higher than $1,000?
I do.
But let's say your mortgage payment but because you have based a part of your business in your home, you get to write off 20% of that mortgage. So that's $200 a month, $2,400 a year. Same thing with utilities, $500 a month, 20% of that, let's call it $100. Now, does anybody have people that spend more than $500 in utilities?
Of course.
Of course.
$200 more per year that you get to write off as a portion, as an operating cost of doing business. Cell phone, $85, call that $1,000 a year, and then mileage in your car. Let's just say, for the sake of this situation, you drive 10,000 miles that because of your tax bot, you can document 10,000 miles driven that year. That's another $5,600. All of these are things that would be expenses in your life. You add in some meals, let's call them 200 at 50%, 1,200 for the year, and then internet, right? Add all that up, that's $12,000 in deductions that you get as a home business owner that are not available if you're still just working. I'm telling everybody, if you're working, if you have a W-2, you need a 1099 home-based income in your portfolio.
Absolutely.
You don't even have to want to quit your job. But what I'm saying is you got to make your job make you more money, because now you add that to your state and federal. Let's say that's an extra $12,000 at 30% tax bracket, which is where most working people are. That's $3,600 that you get back from the tax man. Right? And let's say your business doesn't make $900 or $1,000 a month. Let's just say that right now your business income is $200 a month. That's $2,400, right? So if you in between that, right between $150 and $600 a month, at $200 a month, add it to your tax savings, that's $6,000 that your number one asset has earned you. And when I say 6,000, I'm saying that's 6,000 with you mostly living your life, building a small business on the side, an extra $6,000, and you got to ask yourself what you would have to do to earn $6,000 with a traditional asset. Because if you just had money in the bank, they say the interest rate on savings is 1% right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need
Right.
$600,000 in the bank to get $6,000, right? Or let's say you had at least a better, you can't even get CDs for 3% anymore. You remember when CDs you could part some money for 3%? You can't do that anymore. But let's say you got something that was earning you 3%. If you had $200,000, that would make $6,000 on a passive basis. If you had $100,000 earning 6% interest, that would generate $6,000. So even though this business costs a little bit of money, right? Our $199, $218 that gives you $6,000, it's worth the same as that amount of money in the bank. It's our number one asset, and we don't have to figure all these things out for ourselves because we have built a team of experts that help us through the process of managing, educating, and executing on our plan. So as we build this business, I want people to understand we're arming ourselves for war, and we have to do the same things that people did in their fight for freedom and independence. It means first we got to get mad. Second, we got to make a declaration. Third, we got to build an army. And then we got to fight. But then after it's over, change the world and have fireworks and cooking and picnics. Remembering the day that we made the decision and the declaration and commemorating everything that happened in the fight. So make sure this was just a quick conversation over lunch to talk about the power of what we have to bring to the table with Making Wealth Real Financial. We only touched on a small piece of everything that comes with the home-based business, but understand your business is providing people the number one asset that they need to add to their portfolio, no matter how much money they make, especially if they're at work. We provide this Financial Edge membership, which for only $228 up front, and $119 per month, that's less than $4 a day, gives them access to the asset class we just talked about. Now, beyond just the tax advantages, we do help people with lowering their taxes, which increase their cash flow, increasing their credit score, which lowers their interest rates, which increases their cash flow, helps them get out of debt at record speed, which increases their cash flow, and then take that cash flow and use it to invest in more assets to create more cash. And we keep running the same play: cash, asset, cash.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's my money lunch conversation for today. I just wanted to get your minds ready for what's about to happen over the next couple of days. Because as we go into our fight for financial independence, as we celebrate Financial Independence Day on July 4th, I want to urge you to make a declaration and take advantage of what's happening next. Less than 6 hours from now, 7 hours from now, Brian Bean will be doing the final. Brian Bean, for those of you that haven't met him, don't know the name, he's the founder of Mentor to Millions, helped us build many of these frameworks and strategies. He'll be doing the final of his 4x4 presentations leading into the 4th of July. And it's one of the advantages that we have working in this industry is understanding the ant and grasshopper philosophy. See, ants think winter all summer long. So while everybody else is trying to figure out how to get out and play, if we go to work, if we put in some extra effort and build, we can celebrate all the seasons and just get back to that place where we remember that for each of us, for everyone on this line, we have the opportunity to fight for freedom, to fight for one another, that we have to first decide, second declare, third build and arm an army, fight until we win, and then we can change the world. Everybody ready?
Like that.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's get out of here.